Well, hello everyone, this is me, Dusty Circuit, here to bring you another Kerbal Space Program video. And well, this time it's actually, this next mission is going to be quite simple and laid back compared to my previous mission. And it's gonna be to the next destination of the Kcalbeloh system, which so far I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere in the Sun Arc system and everywhere in the Allrack system, so that just leaves two more systems to go, the Maelg system and also the planets that are really close orbiting around the black hole. But today is going to be the Maelg system, which is kind of this brown dwarf star with two planets around it. Well, I guess you could call it one planet and a dwarf planet. And, wow, like the first one being, I think it's called Metna. And, it's kind of, it's basically kind of like, so the stats are basically, it's half the gravity of Kerbin and about 1/10 the atmospheric pressure of Kerbin. And there's the info about it if you want to pause and read that. And the dwarf planet of the system is Maelg, I think is how it's said. And this one's actually on a pretty, because it's on an elliptical orbit, it's at its apoapsis, it's actually a lot darker than it is at its periapsis, or its farthest point away from the star versus closest point. And here's and the stats. It's pretty low gravity, actually. I think Midness is about 0.05 and this is 0.04, so pretty low gravity. And of course no atmosphere, being a dwarf planet. And yeah, there's a description if you want to read that. And I'll click on here's Maelg's description. So yeah. So I guess let's get on with the mission. Okay, so the craft I'm gonna be sending to Maelg is it's gonna be it's actually using so that's the main propulsion, well, for when it's in space, is this is actually this engine. It's from, I believe it's one from the near future propulsion mod. And that's this one here. And feel free to pause the video if you want to read about it. So basically how my spacecraft is going to work is this engine uses argon gas as its fuel, and that's what all these fuel tanks are holding, and also has a nuclear reactor, because the engine uses a lot, actually also requires a lot of electricity to operate. And also because for a decent amount of the mission, we're going to be pretty far away from stars, so solar power isn't going to be of that much help. So hence where the nuclear reactor comes in. And turns out actually what that way I'm gonna be. Turns out that my craft I'm gonna be sending to the system is gonna be it's actually fairly similar to what Maelg actually used. I think they used this engine here, and this one has more thrust than this one, but less delta V, where this is more thrust, but less specific impulse, where this is more specific impulse, less thrust. So my craft is going to have less thrust, but more delta V. And well, the reason why that matters is I'm actually going to be sending a space plane to with me on this mission, whereas I believe Maelg just sent like a small lander. So for every one of these missions in order to keep. Well, in an effort to kind of keep the series more interesting, I've been trying to use a different engine for each mission. Although in some missions I did kind of use the same one over again. And the thing is, like, part of me wants to just use like for a future engine, like perhaps like one of these, just to kind of ensure I'm gonna have enough delta V for this mission. But at the same time, I don't really want to just absolutely cheese this with like something like this guy, which has like probably like a few million delta V, or a few million specific impulse, or even this one, which is like, I think it's like probably 10 million or 50 million. But though, because we're actually going towards Kcalbeloh this time, we're actually going to have to use a lot more delta V than a lot of the stock engines actually could do. So part of me actually wants to at least attempt a mission to the Maelg system, probably using nerves, or like the Nerva the Nerva nuclear engine, or like the Dawn ion engine. See if that's possible to do. Maybe do like a small lander that also can return to Kerbin. But But this mission is that I'm gonna be sending a space plane, and also my habitation section is fairly large, so I'm gonna need really as much Delta V as I can, as I guess would be reasonable to bring along with me. And really at the top here, I just have I had 2 RCS tanks and another RCS tank on the bottom. And these are actually from the latest update for the Sterling Systems mod. They're like a new type of radiator, which is kind of interesting that these are actually retractable, where like I think these ones I used like in my previous missions. Like it has the option to retract it in the VAB, but once you extend these, you can't retract them, where for these radiators you can. And up here is just my habitation modules. It's at the deep space habitation module, hydroponics module, this heavy orbital command module, which I don't think I've used before, so that'll be a bit interesting. This observation module, this inflatable centrifuge, and just some docking ports. Oh, airlocks, and those are airlocks, and that's a docking port. I don't know, maybe it might be better to have more docking ports, just in case I have to send a rescue mission. And by the way, these station modules are from the stock-like station parts expansion mod. Oh, and these service bay things, don't think those are from near future launch vehicles. Those are just stock fuel tank or RCS tanks. These radiators are Sterling Systems. I think that's from near future propulsion. Those fuel tanks, engines from near future propulsion. And the engines I'm using on the launch stage are from Cryo Engines extensions. It's just like kind of an extension to Cryo Engines that adds more powerful varieties of the engines for that mod. And the fuel tanks are from procedural parts. And these big RCS thrusters are from near future launch vehicles. Oh, and these clamps are from the Space Y mod, though I might remove this mod at some point, because I'm not really using that many parts from it anymore. Like these launch clamps are really the only reason I have it, because otherwise I find it's just kind of buggy and outdated. Where these fuel tanks from these engines do pretty much all that mod can do, and also better. But I don't know, I guess I'm just kind of hanging on. I'm kind of keeping this mod just because I find these launch clamps to be very useful. Like, especially for larger rockets. And I guess without further ado, let's get to launching this thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. I am actually fine that these engines I'm using actually are quite like I'm finding they're actually a bit like too powerful for a lot of my rockets, so it's like I find myself having to throttle back like this, because if I just go full throttle, it's like I end up with like getting my apoapsis just way out of the atmosphere, like way up at like 300 meters by the time I'm like in space, and it's kind of, I end up with a wildly inefficient transfer to orbit. And it is really also flying tall, slender rockets up through the atmosphere is fun, because all the time you're having to fight the tendency of like the air pushing down on you, always trying to flip your rocket over, which ends up in me unfortunately having to waste RCS propellant, but yes, it is what it is. Okay, I am now officially in orbit. Okay, now it is time to send the next piece of my mission. Okay, this is the plane I'm gonna be using. And it's really kind of not unlike other, well, this is really just a kind of mass-reduced version of the plane, this plane design I've used in other missions. Well, why weight reduced? Because just to maximize the amount of delta V I'm gonna have in my mothership once this thing is docked up to it. And because taking off from Metna actually is not going to be that difficult. The hard part is going to be landing on it with this thing. And so the fuselage is mostly the Mark II fuselage parts, which are part of the stock game. And then this rear part is these aviation fuel tanks, which are part of the Near Future Aeronautics mod. And these intakes and these engines are from KARE, or the Kerbal Aircraft Reactor Experiment, which adds in some fairly high performance nuclear jet engines. And then the wings are the B9 procedural wings, or the fork of the B9 procedural wings mod that's updated, as well as the control surfaces and these fins. And these air brakes are, I believe, from B9 parts, although they're fairly similar to the OPT air brakes. I'm just using these because they are they're colorable, whereas I don't think the OPT ones are. And also, since one of my last missions actually using these wraparound heat shields, which come with the Sterling Systems mod suite. There's actually been an update which actually adds a like a piece that perfectly conforms to this fuselage adapter that goes from the Mark II fuselage to like the 2.5 meter diameter fuel tanks. Where, like, I think before I just used like I believe it was one of these shields, but like made smaller, and I like had to like angle it in a way to kind of make it look right, but it didn't fit entirely correct. Where actually this is actually a specially made piece that conforms perfectly to that part. So then that actually looks a lot better now. And I'm gonna be, more just because why not? I left all the science stuff in, even though I don't need to do science anymore because I basically have the entire tech tree unlocked in the save. But I also have the Convertotron and the drills, so I can actually mine on the surface of a planet that I've landed on to refuel this thing. Though one thing I did is I removed the mod I had that actually makes the Convertotron and the drills use the system heat mod. Because during my testing of this plane, I've ran into a weird problem where during time warp, it just, like if I go to a certain level of time warp, the temperature just spikes up and causes the drills and the Convertotron to shut down. It doesn't matter how much radiators I use, it just spikes and causes it to not be able to work. And well, I don't know what's going on. It's not letting me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna reload this. This is it's not letting me click on anything or right click anything. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, and I'm also using, because, Metna actually has a low atmosphere, or a thin atmosphere, for, it's the surface gravity that it has. Landing on it, at least with the plane, is gonna be a little bit difficult. And because in order to slow down for a landing, we're not actually, like, the atmosphere is so thin that, like, in order to slow down to land, we actually have to, like, slow down below the speed where the wings can generate adequate lift. And so we're gonna need another engine to actually counteract the gravity while you're slowing down to land, and that's where these two ventral engines I have come in handy. And I'm actually borrowing an idea from I believe Bogue's mission to Duna, like using like an Orion drive spacecraft that was based on one of the trailers from Kerbal Space Program 2, and that was canceled. And they actually landed a plane on Duna. In order to make that work, they used these ventral engines and also parachutes and air brakes in order to slow down. So I am actually using these engines, which are from the OPT spaceplane mod, because I tried this with Dart engines before, and I found those to not quite be powerful enough. So I'm using these to get more thrust. But, I guess so, I guess it might be easier just to show you how the landing's gonna work, rather than to explain it. But well, now that I think about it, I think it might be cool if I actually gave this plane, a bit of a paint job. So I guess I guess I'll go ahead and do that. I think I like this. Like, because I'm also having to use the simple repaint mod for the parts, like, that don't, that, like, I can't color using, the Textures Unlimited Recolor Depot mod, like that, which means I have to kind of use the closest colors I can to try to match it, but I kind of think this overall looks pretty good. I mean, I guess I could tweak it a little bit more, but I kind of feel like I kind of like how this looks. Although those being not quite the same color is bothering me. I don't know, I guess I'll go with that. So I guess it's now time to launch this plane. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we have successfully docked. I guess I can do a quick spacecraft tour before we actually set out on our mission. And this, I think, is the inside of the command module. And this is going forwards in the spacecraft. And that's the, this is the observation room. Oh, and for a long time, I thought the only way to pan in the free IVA mod is to right-click with my mouse. Like, hold right-click and move my mouse. But turns out I was a bit... Well, I didn't know that you can just move the mouse. You don't have to hold right-click. So it's like... Oh, so right-clicking, like, basically toggles you between the mode where you can pan around and move versus just being able to move back and forth. And that's the inside of the centrifuge. Which inside here is we're under simulated artificial gravity. And to climb the ladders, you hold shift. So I don't know why. Oh, I guess I was moving backwards. But okay, now we're back in zero and microgravity. Oh, and this is that that quad like docking adapter. Oh, and this is one of those like viewing like those cupolas, like the smaller ones. And there's another view of Kerbin. And looks like this is a dead end. So this is back, we're back at the command module, and this is going now backwards in the spaceship. Oh, I guess this is that hydroponics module, which appears to be a little bugged. And oh, this is that other habitation module. Another view of Kerbin. Oh, this actually leads to the outside. Oh, this is the bottom. We're at the bottom of the spacecraft, so I don't know how that works. Oh, it's no airlocks available, so I guess we can't go that way. But the mod that makes this all possible is the free IVA mod, and it's a really really adds to the immersion of this game, especially for those who actually play with who play this with the like with the enhanced IVA mods that actually give you more like screens to look at, and maybe I might actually attempt a mission entirely using IVA, where we in first person. That might be interesting. Like kind of where our only perspective is like the inside of the cockpit. Oh. Oh, we have our core booster stage left, so I guess we can make use of that to get out of Kerbin. But gonna enable my nuclear reactor, which is going to power this is gonna power my like the thruster of my interplanetary stage, which is gonna come into use as soon as what's left of my launch stage is depleted. Okay, that's actually us leaving Kerbin. I might have actually overdone it a little bit because I wasn't really paying attention to how fast my orbit was increasing, but that's fine. And there's us leaving Kerbin. Oh, there's one thing I actually forgot to do. before actually starting to record my video, and that's for this distant object enhancement. I'm gonna turn off the skybox dimming, only because it actually has, like, it kind of makes the wormhole actually kind of really difficult to see when I'm just going through it. So I feel like for the remainder of my series, and maybe for future planet packs I do with wormhole travel, I think I'll have that turned off so you can see the wormhole better. Though if you prefer how the videos look with that setting left on, I guess you feel free to comment. Okay, that's that stage where I ran out. And there's that engine, which has a bit of an interesting sound effect. Okay, I'm just gonna be going for a thread the needle maneuver through the wormhole, but it looks like I'm gonna have to tweak that. Okay, looks like this can't handle more than 100 times the, like a persistent thrust time warp, so I'll just have to go with this and possibly speed this up a little bit in editing. Okay, from here I'm gonna have to actually tweak the maneuver so that actually is according to yeah, it was according to this, like where what these marks mean. This means the wormhole's gonna be over here, while we're gonna be over here, so we're nowhere near an encounter. So what we'll do is how you can actually correct for that is actually just to increase your speed. We'll either increase it or decrease it. So that way you'll actually get onto an encounter. Well, for some reason it's not showing me the periapsis to the wormhole, but I guess we'll tweak that further as we get closer. Oh, it looks like I warped past my maneuver, but oh well. So let's make a new maneuver. Oh yeah, I forgot about disabling my reactor to save its fuel while we're not using it, because the reactors continuously burn up fuel even when you're not really using the engines. So it's kind of good practice to turn it off, like while you're just drifting through space. Oh no, well and then we just have it to turn it on when you need to do burns. I guess now that we're in the Sarnus system, we can finally see what our closest approach to the wormhole is going to be, so we can tweak that so we actually get an intercept with it. And you only actually have to go to within, I think it's 32 kilometers to actually go through it, but going right through the dead center of it where you have no periapsis over it, again, it makes for the best visual effect of going through it. But you don't actually have to go all the way to 0, like anywhere below 32 kilometers will work, and you actually don't have to get into orbit around Sarnus to actually go through the wormhole. You can just do the kind of maneuver I'm doing here, which is just a thread the needle, like just get like our trajectory, so we're actually gonna we're gonna fly right through the wormhole, and how it also works going through the wormhole is it keeps your velocity. So your velocity you have like going through the wormhole, it will be kept on the other side. And first I forgot to turn my reactor back on because you can tell my engine was well, I could tell like the tone of the engine was changing, which meant like I was running out of electric charge. Yeah, there we go. Oh, so there's Sarnus over there. And there's the wormhole. Okay, we are through the wormhole and entering the Kcalbeloh system. Well, we've entered the system. We're gonna go straight by Sarah. And we're gonna end up on that orbit around Sunork. And I'm just gonna go right around till we're our periapsis. And then I'm just gonna burn till I am out of the system. I think it might be better to do a maneuver. Just so I know kind of exactly when our stages run out. Okay, it seems like whenever I leave Sunork, where I could do a burn to leave Sunork, I end up with such a high apoapsis, which kind of makes, would mean in order for the best efficiency, we have to go all the way out to there, which is going to add another 21 years to this mission, but it's not like that's really an issue because I don't have the mods that add the Like, so you have to, like, I don't have Kcalbeloh, so it's not like I have to worry about, like the actual health of my Kerbals, like us having them in deep space for a long time. And by the way, this is what it's like out, like in the space between the systems, like just orbiting the Kcalbeloh pretty far away. Just pretty much, it's basically dark, well, except for whatever, like if you have lighting on your spacecraft, that's really the only light you have. And it's basically like being out in interstellar space. Yeah, that's my first radial tanks staged. Okay, inclination change burn is complete. Well, since we're basically right at apoapsis, we can do it from here. No sense in making our Kerbals wait like another 20 years out in space. This is quite interesting. I've managed to actually get a orbital insertion that's of Maelg that's going to directly get us an orbital encounter with Metna. I think I'll go for a little closer in. Maybe just so we can use the Oberth effect to our advantage for actually getting a capture. I think that's as close as I'm quite comfortable with. You see, keep in mind, Maelg is basically just like a weak star, like a dim star, so we can't get too close to it. Hey, now that's our trajectory complete. And so far, this is actually the closest we've been to the Kcalbeloh black hole in my whole series. And then in my next mission, we're gonna get even closer than this. There's the Maelg system coming up. We're actually within the Maelg system now. And actually, as we get closer, we'll actually get a sense of what it's looks like. So actually, so because of Maelg actually being like a pretty dim star, a brown dwarf, the entire system actually is is casted in this really deep reddish orange light, kind of like sunset on Kerbin and on Earth, but because of the color of the star, this is what the entire system looks like during the daytime. On any planet in the system, it would look like this at daytime. Yeah, it's actually quite bright because we're pretty close to the star, but actually if we go out to Metna's orbit, and especially the apoapsis of Maelg's orbit, it gets quite dimmer. Actually, let's use a maneuver just so I know when their stages are gonna run out. Oh, I didn't realize this is gonna be a problem where our engine is so low thrust. Actually, it doesn't have, takes a long time for it to make an effect on our orbit, so we're actually going way past the periapsis. I don't know, maybe we'll... Oh, I don't know, think I quick saved. So I said I was gonna revert to where we first entered the system, but... So how much more is it gonna take? So I think I'll just do this burn until we're actually in orbit. Okay, we have successfully captured well, I guess while we wait for this burn to complete, I think what we'll do... Oh... Actually, I think let's just do another burn at periapsis just to save as much fuel as we can. So we do need a good chunk of this fuel to return back to Kerbin as well. Yeah, I think it's probably, if we're gonna go to Maelg, I think it's better for us just to get our orbit at least vaguely circular and then go in for an encounter with it. Well, what I don't like is the amount of delta V we're gonna burn doing this, but I guess it is what it is. Hey, I finally got an encounter. Okay, this encounter might prove tricky because this object has a very low gravity and thus very small sphere of influence. So I might have to treat this like more like an asteroid rendezvous than a planetary encounter. Okay, well, I guess we'll take that as an entry trajectory. Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, can we... Oh, crap, looks like we might not get captured in time. Yeah, I don't know if, Oh, I have an idea. But we maybe use our plane engines to help us. As long as we're not going to burn off part of our spaceship, should work. Oh, it technically worked. But I don't like how close that's bringing us to the surface, so I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, I guess we'll take this as an orbit, even though it's quite close to the surface. As long as we're not going to run into any mountains, I'm okay with this. The one thing that's rather concerning is the fuel in our plane is now dangerously low. So, well, my whole plan for going to Maelg first is to be able to land my plane to refuel it, because I'm not that confident with this thing only being partially fueled. Will we be able to safely land on Metna? But now I'm in this situation, which isn't ideal. But I don't know, maybe I'll go on a bit of EVA so I can do some quick science. Well, I'm gonna attempt a landing. But hopefully the gravity here is low enough that even with my fuel situation, it should be possible to land on this thing. Looks like we should be just about able to land. Well, I guess we'll just wait for us to leave physics range. There we go. Oh, this looks like a perfect landing spot. And here we're safely touched down on the surface. with a mere 6 meters per second of delta V to spare. Wow. So it's EVA. And some of the science reports actually suggest that this planet actually is fairly low density for its size, and thus that's why it has such a low gravity, and suggests it actually could be what's like in space is called like a rubble pile object, where instead of just a solid rock body, it's actually just a clump of like particles of rock that's attracted together by gravity. It is quite interesting. I want to make sure I'm spelling that right. If Maelg were just a little bit lower in the sky, this would be a great thumbnail, a video thumbnail shot. Maybe you'll see by time warp, does it move lower? Oh, that dot you see occasionally going past, that's our mothership. Like zooming past. Okay, I think I'll use that for the video thumbnail. In the interest of time, I guess I'll call this video here. And then I guess next step of this mission is just to refuel my plane here. And then get into an encounter with Metna. And then do a landing there, and then we'll see if we have enough fuel left to return home, and if we do not, I'll have to send a rescue mission, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this has been me, Dusty Circuit, to bring you another episode of Kerbal Space Program. If you liked what you saw, remember leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of my next videos, be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Peace out. Bye.